All right, we're in 3.6 today. It's on page 179 in your books, and so what we're going to look at, you learned in 3.5 about what a matrix is, and you learned about the dimensions of a matrix, and now, you've already added and subtracted, and you multiplied a matrix by a scalar. And so today we're going to look at multiplying matrices, and so the way this works, the rules for when you can multiply matrices are different than when you add or subtract. So you can only add or subtract matrices that are the same dimensions. Well, that's not the case when you multiply. You can multiply matrices together that have the same dimensions, but there's other instances that you can multiply as well. So kind of the formula is right here in the middle of page 179. I'm going to jump down into example 1, all right, part A, and I'm going to show you how this works. So they're saying that we've got matrix A, all right, and they notate it that it's a 3x4 matrix. They didn't tell you what the matrix is, but that's fine. And then they say, all right, we're going to multiply that by matrix B, which is a 4x2, okay? And so what you're looking at here, there's just a little test to see if you can multiply these. And here's what you do. You look at the order that you're multiplying them in, all right? So if we're going to go and if it says, hey, multiply A times B and see if you can do it, then we're going to check it like this. I'm going to look at my inside numbers. Okay, so I'm going to look at the specific order that I'm multiplying these matrices in. I'm going to look at the inside numbers. If they match, which in this instance they do, the two outside numbers are going to be the resulting size of your matrix, or the resulting dimensions. So when I multiply A times B together, I'm going to get a 3x2 matrix. So when we're just seeing if we can multiply these, we're going to state what the dimensions are. Since my inside numbers match, my outside numbers tell me what the dimensions are. There's going to be 3 rows by 2 columns. Remember, it's always rows by columns when you're doing matrices. All right, I'm going to flip-flop this. Let's look and see if we can do B times A. So, multiplication, you can normally flip it around. Well, our rules change with matrices. So again, matrix B is that 4x2 matrix. Matrix A is that 3x4 matrix, all right? So when I go do it in this order and I look at my inside numbers, do they match? They do not match. You cannot multiply matrix B times matrix A when they have these dimensions, okay? That's kind of how it's set up. I'm just going to jump down, all right? I'm going to look at guided practice 1A, and it says that A is a 4x6, and it says that B is a 6x2. We're going to look at the inside numbers because we're going to try to see if we can multiply A times B. The insides match. The outsides tell me the dimensions when I multiply. It's going to be a 4x2. Again, let's flip-flop it. Let's see if I can do B times A. I always like to come right what the dimensions are, so I've got a good feel for what we're dealing with. B is a 6x2. A is a 4x6. Do my inside numbers match? They do not. Now, I know both examples, B times A didn't work, but it can work, all right? You just got to test the dimensions, okay? Pretty simple stuff right there. All right, now matrix multiplication. If you're a rules person and you like following exactly how things work, the way that we multiply is at the top of page 180. Here are the rules. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. This is something that I'm going to let you do in the calculator. We're going to let the TI calculator help us out. All right, so let's go ahead and jump to example 2. All right. It says find x times y, and it gives us x. It says x is, 6, -3, -10, -2, and y is -5, -4, 3, 3. Just for the sake of knowing how matrices work, go ahead. That's a 2x2. That's a 2x2. All right? We got to know if the dimensions work so that we can multiply these. So we're going to go find x times y. I compare the insides. Are they the same? Yes. I'm going to be left with a 2x2 matrix is what I'm expecting my answer to be. And we're going to do it in the calculator. So let me kind of walk you through how to do this in here. All right. So in the calculator, your matrix menu is second, and then the x to the -1 is called the inverse button. So second inverse. All right. And you see this list right here. It says names. It says math. It says edit. Well, as you would think, if you thought about it, we're going to input these in edit because we're editing those matrices. So I'm just going to put matrix X right in here in the first spot. The calculator calls it matrix A. Doesn't really matter. All right, so now you've got to name the matrix or give the dimensions of the matrix. Well, you already said, and we already looked at, matrix X is a 2x2. So I hit 2, enter, 2, enter. All right, 2x2 matrix. Now I input the elements. I can look in the book to make sure that I wrote it right, or I can go from my table, but the first spot is 6, that top right spot is -3, bottom left is -10, bottom right is -2, okay? Make sure you hit enter after all those, double check, make sure you've input it right. Okay, now that's stored in there until you clear the memory, all right? It's gonna sit in there. So now we can go back, or I can second quick, go to my home screen or whatever, go back to my matrix menu. I need to put in the second matrix, or matrix Y. So I'm just gonna go down here and put it in the second slot, which the calculator calls matrix B, and that's fine. It was also a 2x2 matrix. Remember, that's 2 rows by 2 columns. And I'm going to plug it in. Top left was -5. Top right's -4. Bottom left is 3. Bottom right is 3. Okay? Getting that from the book or from what I wrote down. Just double check, make sure they're all in there. Good. Okay. Now multiplying them is extremely, extremely simple. Okay? Look at how it's written. When it's written like this, that's x times y. Remember in our calculator, that's A and B. I'm going to go call up that first matrix. So second matrix. We do this from the names menu. I'm just going to pick the first one. Now remember, that is matrix X. All right? And you can hit times, or you really don't even have to do that. But we're multiplying it, so I'm going to hit it. I'm going to call up the second matrix, which I can go to names and pick the second one. I can either hit 2, or I can arrow down to matrix B, but there we go. That's technically x times y, and we get an answer, okay? And so when I multiply those out, the answer is top left element's -39, top right's -33, bottom left is 44, bottom right is 34. There are those 2 matrices multiplied together. Again, see it right there in the calculator. It does it for you, okay? Real simple. Looking at the book, they do it by hand, which is fine. We're not going to do it that way. All right, so let's kind of move along. What's this going to look like for some other stuff? Go ahead and flip a couple of pages. Go to page 182. So what I want you to see now is this. So we're at example 4 at the top of page 182. And it says this. It's got matrix G is, 1, 3, -5, 4, -2, 0. Matrix H, and again, it doesn't really matter what they call it, is 2, 3, -2, -8, 1, 7. Now, these aren't the same size, so they want us to go find G times H and then H times G and see if it works, okay? So I always, whatever the first one is, this one is, we're going to do part A, is G times H. I look at the dimensions. Matrix G is a 2 by 3. Matrix H is a 3 by 2. The insides match. So my resulting matrix is going to be a 2 by 2. I want you to have a good feel for that. If you can't see this down here, that's a 2 by 3 and a 3 by 2, and my 3's match. All right? So let's go input those. Now, if you just want to clear out the old ones from our last problem, the quickest way is probably second plus 7, 1, 2. Clears all your RAM. All right? Or you can just go in and clear them out individually in the matrix menu. All right, here we go. Second matrix. I'm going to edit. I'm going to put in the first one, which is G. We've already said it's a, if you need to write it up here, this is a 2 by 3 matrix. This one's 3 by 2. All right, so put in the 2 by 3, enter. And we're putting it in 1, 3, -5. It goes kind of by row. 4, -2, 0. If you need to double check, there you go. Matches up with G. Now we're going to go back, matrix, edit. I'm going to put in the second one. They're calling it matrix H. It's going in my matrix B spot. 3 rows by 2 columns. All right. Sorry, so you can see it right there. Where's the glare? Try to get the glare off of there. All right, put it in. 2, 3, -2, -8, 1, 7. Double check, make sure it's in there right. 2, 3, -2, -8, 1, 7. All right, we're good. Go to the home screen. We're multiplying G times H. So in my matrix menu, that's matrix A times, wrong button. Matrix B. All right? Again, that's G times H for what the problem says. And we get this. We were expecting a 2 by 2 matrix, and we got a 2 by 2 matrix. -9, -56, 12, 28. All right? Now the problem says, can we multiply H times G? Now remember, H was a 3 by 2. G was a 2 by 3. Do the inside numbers match? They sure do. I'm expecting a 3 by 3 matrix. Going to have a little bit bigger matrix here. All right. Now, do I need to go re-input H and G? No. I've already put them in. I just need to know the right order. So remember, matrix H was actually my second one. So I'm going to call up what my calculator is calling matrix B. I'm going to multiply it by matrix G, which is really just my matrix A, and hit enter. And there you go. It's got your 3 by 3 matrix there. Go write your answer out. Top left is 14, 0, negative 10. That's the top row. Second row, negative 34, 10, 10. Bottom row, 29, negative 11, negative 5. There you go. That's how it works. Okay? The nice thing about this order, even if you jump down into example 5, okay, you can just put in J, K, and L, put in matrix J, open parentheses, K plus L, close parentheses, and it'll do it. If you ever get an error message, then it's something that wasn't possible. Okay, so basically what I've shown you is, and what you have the green light on now is, you can do all of your matrix work in the calculator. Addition, subtraction, scalars, multiplication. You can combine any of those and you can make it work. All right, make sure you're plugging them in correctly. That's probably the key to all this. And then go back through these steps. If you need to rewatch this, or if you want to bring it up to me and let me kind of help you and walk you back through it, we definitely can do that. Make sure everything that I'm writing down that you're getting into your notes. Thank you.